Hi everybody, Mrs. Heil here. I want to go over this document about scope of practice for the assignment that you'll be doing. Scope of practice is the things you are allowed to do legally in your state as a dental assistant or an EFDA. We're going to talk about Pennsylvania. So, in this document you have 5 pages. The first page is just telling you how to use the document. The second page is telling you about the training required to be an assistant or an EFDA in Pennsylvania, and we've talked about that in our slideshow, Pathway 1 and 2. It also talks about the requirements for getting a radiology license. You'll learn radiology during your program at MBIT, and you'll take your radiation health and safety exam also while you're here. So this is something you'll do before you graduate. What's most important on page 2 is the list of things you cannot do as a dental assistant or an EFDA in Pennsylvania. This list is specifically the things we will never be allowed to do in our scope of practice. It has a number here, 46. It says take impressions other than. We are allowed to take impressions in the state of Pennsylvania. All impressions except one, and that is called final impressions. That is the only set of impressions we're not allowed to take, final. And we'll talk more about that when we get to the scope of practice sheet. So, I'm going to shrink down the document and take us over to page 4. Page 4 is the appendix. This is the numbering system Pennsylvania uses for all of the different things dental assistants and EFDAs are allowed to do. Let's go right to number 46. On 46, it says take final impressions. This is what I just explained earlier. In Pennsylvania, we cannot take final impressions. However, we can take impressions for everything else. So I'm just going to cross that one out so that we know that number 46 is something that's not within our scope of practice. Now, among these 70 things, I'm going to teach you all these things in your program at MBIT in the next couple years. But some of them you are going to have to go on to EFDA school and get your EFDA license if you want to do them out in practice. So let's highlight the things that you must be an EFDA for so that you can perform those functions in practice. Number 9, perform coronal polishing. I'll teach you about coronal polishing, but if you want to do it on live patients out in a dentist office, you'll have to be an EFDA. Number 12, place amalgam. In order for you to place restorations, you'll need that license. 18, apply fluoride. 27, place and remove dental dams. 33, place composite. 40, apply pit and fissure sealants. 34, place liners and bases. 45, place and remove matrix bands. And 51, carve amalgams. So these items are the things that you will have to have an EFDA license to perform when you go work in an office. We'll learn about them here at MBIT, but you'll have to go on for further education if you want to do them in practice. But that leaves us an awful lot of things that we can perform as a dental assistant. Everything in this box that is not highlighted or crossed out in black, you will be able to do, and we are going to learn. So for this assignment, I'm going to ask you to talk about what scope of practice means, and I'm going to ask you to pick 3 items from this list. 2 you can do as a dental assistant right out of high school, and 1 where you will need to be an EFDA to perform that duty. I want you to tell me a little bit about what that duty means. You may have to do a bit of research. You're brand new to the dental field, and you may not know what all these things are, like you will when you graduate. So look them up and see if you can give me a small explanation of what they mean. I'm going to shrink down this document and just scoot over to page 3. On page 3, right here, you'll see expanded functions dental assistant and dental assistant. Those items that I highlighted are also listed separately here so that you understand the items that you must be an EFDA to perform in practice. This also helps dentists so they know when they hire an assistant the things that they can do legally as a dental assistant and the things that they must become an EFDA to perform legally. Another thing that you're going to see here is under direct supervision. What does that mean? The last page of this document talks about the levels of supervision, and there are 4 of them, and we're going to talk more about these in class, and you're also going to need to take a look at these while you're doing this assignment. Okay, I hope this helps you understand how this document works, so when you're completing your assignment for learning dental careers, you have a better understanding where to find information. And of course, as always, you can email me and ask me questions, or ask me questions when we are together in our live online classroom. Thanks, guys. See you later.